Man, it is smoking hot where I live. So I finally had to get an air conditioner, and I wanted a portable one because I don't personally like installing those in window ones, and I can move this around the house as I want. Now this is the De'Longhi Pinguino, and they're really going with the Arctic penguin vibes here. Now this is a 14,000 BTU, and that's supposed to cover around 700 square feet. And I want to give you a little tour of what it covers for me and how well it works in an open space, because I have mine directly in my living room. So this is the area where I have the Pinguino, and it's on my main floor. So upstairs stays super hot, but anything in this area up into probably the kitchen here gets pretty cool. Even the dining room and the kitchen do remain decently cool as well. But this area 100% stays very, very cool. And I keep it at the coolest option, which is 64 Fahrenheit. Okay, I want to walk you through the setup process really quick. It's really not that hard, but I want to show you, depending on what type of window you have, the issues you might develop with this portable air conditioner from De'Longhi. So you get a super long hose. Now this is not a high quality hose, and we're going to talk about that in a few minutes as well. You get a bunch of different inserts for your hose. So this is what you stick into your window, and they give you extenders based on the height of your window. Now I didn't end up needing any of these, but you can see it works for quite a tall window as well. Now one thing about this hose is these things have fallen off a bunch for me, and you have to kind of tighten them on like a screw. It's super annoying. Now on the back here is the reusable washable filter. So you can just pull this off and you can see how much cat hair and dog hair it catches for me. I just cleaned it about 2 days ago. So if you have a very hairy household with a lot of furry friends, this is going to rack up for you. Now what really drew me to this unit is the fact you don't need a drainage hose. This actually evaporates the water as it goes. Now it does have a water escape valve right here, but it really doesn't collect a lot of water. You might have to drain it once a year or once every couple months. And for me, it was like a cup of water after 3 weeks. It was next to nothing. Okay, first thing we want to do is connect our one side of our hose to the device. So it really only slides in one way, and you just take these notches right here, and we're basically going to push down and it clicks into place. And that offers a pretty tight seal around it. Now we got to set out our exhaust side, and this is where you might have some issues depending on your window type. So as you can see, I have the small sliding windows. Now if you have the tall vertical windows, not a problem. If you have enough space, not a problem. You might have to create a bracket, but for mine, look at that. So you can definitely still set it up, but you will have to jerry-rig it a little bit. I'm going to show you how I did it. So first you obviously want to connect your hose to this end. Now make sure it's nice and tight. You basically just push it in and you twist, and you can see it locks into place like this. Now, one thing I do suggest getting, one second, is some tape. I definitely will be using this. And you also might want some cardboard or something to fill in spaces depending on your window type. If you have the push down window, or if you have a sliding window where it doesn't quite fit horizontally, that's where you might have to use some cardboard to cover up a little space. You're going to get a little bit more heat in, but it's not the worst solution. So you can see right here, the exhaust has room to spit out. But what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to use a little bit of tape, and then I'm going to have to use something just to stuff at the top there to get rid of the space. And then I'll use some tape and some other stuff to seal that up. Now it's not the perfect solution, but it'll work for now. Now I'm about to show you guys my finished jerry-rig job, but don't laugh at it, okay? You got to do what you got to do when you have small windows and the insert doesn't fit. Check it out. So I stuffed this up here for the major section, and then I taped all the way down. And there's really no space. There's little bits, but there's tape, so it's going to keep most of that airflow out at least, and most of it will be pushing out. Is this the best solution? No. Will it work? Yeah, it will. Let's talk about the air conditioning. Last thing to do is plug it in, and of course it has a built-in breaker just in case as well. And now at the unit. I also want to mention they do include a remote, which has all the controls: timer, fan, air conditioning, and dehumidifier. Now, if you like devices that are multi-purpose, this is one for you. This is not just an air conditioner, but it's also a fan, and it has a built-in dehumidifier. The fan is not so unique, but not all of them are also dehumidifiers, so that is a really great added bonus. Now, the first thing is the UV care light. It didn't give me a lot of information in the manual, but when I looked it up, this helps basically just destroy little particles, right? So it keeps the air a little bit cleaner, and it's supposed to be pretty effective. So that's important to note as well. Also, as for the physical machine, I should mention this thing is very heavy, but it does have wheels, and it has a handle on each side, which makes it fairly easy to pick up if you have to. It is definitely a bulkier unit though, so you will need your room. Let's go ahead and turn it on for the first time. And you're gonna see the top automatically open, which is a really nice addition. So I went ahead and turned the fan down to the lowest setting. So now it's at 1 single, so we can turn that up as we go. You can also adjust the Fahrenheit right here when you're on air conditioning mode, and it shows that just with the little, I guess that's a snowflake. And you can see we can move that Fahrenheit all the way up based on your desire and coolness. You can also turn on that UV care at any point right there just by clicking that button. As for modes, it has a few different modes. It has your air conditioning, it has your dehumidifying, it has your fan only mode, which again is completely adjustable based on your settings. A lot of people care about how loud it is. That's a very important feature. And this thing's pretty loud when it's on air conditioning mode, but it does have a quieter mode as well for the air conditioning. It's called whisper mode, okay? But that will lower the fan's powerfulness, I guess is the word. So I'm gonna turn it on full blast air conditioning mode so you guys can hear it. And then I'll turn it on the quiet mode. Okay, now we're gonna put it on the whisper mode. And you can hear there's not as much air coming out. It's still cool air, but it's gonna really turn that fan down and really quiet the unit. When it is on full blast mode, it is pretty loud, so you do have to keep that in mind as well. Now remember I mentioned the hose earlier in the video. This is not a high quality hose. It's not insulated, so you really get that heat radiating off of the hose, which is of course going to warm your place up even more, so it's kind of working against itself. They definitely should have opted in for a better quality hose 100%. Now, as for the airflow, it actually does a really good job because of how high up it's angled. It really delivers great air all around the room to help get it distributed. I also keep an extra fan, which helps blow that cool air throughout the house, cooling things down, I should say. I just almost said warming things up just a little bit more as well. I think most importantly, if you are in need of an air conditioner, this is gonna work really well. It cools down the area that I said it was going to. It makes my house feel good. Yes, can it be a little loud, but most importantly, it's cool. So if it's too loud for you, put it in a room where you're not going to be consistently. That way you're not always fighting against it.